Team Janners, what's happening? So I just wanted to do a video today about how it's coming up to the third week of January, and I think it's around January the 23rd, they say, is the most common day for people committing suicide, which is obviously quite sad. Now, there are several factors that contribute to this. It's because often the weather's really bad, it's cold, depressing, everyone's broke from Christmas, and it's the time apparently your New Year's resolutions are most likely to fail. Now, the reason I wanted to do this video was when I was around 27 years old, I was at a very low point in my life. I was in a job I absolutely hated. I didn't have a lot of money, and I'd just gone through a very, very bad breakup. My life wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as it could have been, and I just felt that I'd totally failed in life. You know, most of my friends had gone to university, and, you know, they'd left and all gone on to get quite good jobs. And I was probably earning around 12,000 a year as a chef. I was earning pretty much the same money, you know, than when I left college when I was 18. I trained to be a chef, and I absolutely hated it. It was the biggest mistake I ever made. If I'd known how bad the money was, I would never have got into it. And I got to a point where I just felt that, you know, I had really failed and nothing in my life was really worth living for. Now, how I got through it, I decided that I was going to leave my job. Thankfully, I was living at home with my dad at the time, so I had some financial support, which I know not everyone has, but I was very fortunate to have that. Plus, I'd saved up, you know, as much as I could over the last few months. And I vowed that I was never going to work in a kitchen again, and I would do everything in my power to try and get a better job and improve my life. I'd also recently just had surgery on my arm, so I couldn't do judo, which I was doing quite frequently and competing in. So for about 3 months I couldn't train, and that obviously put a strain on my mental health, I feel. So as soon as my arm was better, I got back slowly into the gym and, you know, sort of like weight training. And one book that really, really helped me, which I highly recommend, is called The Elephant and the Twig by Jeff Thompson. He's an ex-martial artist. He spent 6 years working in a factory, and he, you know, didn't like his life, but he made every effort he could to change it. And ever since then, he's wrote a lot of self-help books trying to help other people. Another very good book he did was called Shapeshifter, which I highly recommend. And when I was looking for another job, I read, just by chance, came across both these books. I think one of them was in a library and one I found online. And I got to say, they totally changed my life. And if you're wondering why it's called The Elephant and the Twig, it's because when elephants are babies in certain countries, to stop them escaping, they tie their legs to a tree trunk, which is obviously very cruel. But they get to a point where they know they can't escape, and then by the time they're fully grown adults, they can tie them to a twig, and they still won't try to escape because they've been indoctrinated so much that they're not going to escape. They don't even try. You know, they're mentally coerced into thinking that, you know, that's their life. And it's all about how we kind of get programmed the same in life. You know, we get told by people around us that we're not good enough, we're not clever enough, we're not this, we're not that, and that's your level here, you'll never get to here, and, you know, which is rubbish because, you know, most people are capable of, achieving good things if we put our minds to it and put the work in. So I really feel that book gave me the confidence I needed to apply for another job. Now, it didn't happen overnight. It took me about 4 months before I got a job that I was actually happy in. I did get offered a couple of jobs in between, but they weren't really what I was looking for. And when I found out more about them, it wasn't the type of career path I wanted to go down. But I eventually got a job as cabin crew, which was the best thing that ever happened to me. It totally transformed my life. I made some amazing friends. I was earning twice as much money, and I travelled the world. I'm still doing it to this day. You know, it's a great job, and, you know, I love it. I highly recommend it if it's something you want to do. So if you feel you have failed in life, you know, we always have opportunities to turn things around. You've got to remember, you know, we're in an age now where, you know, education is available to everyone. I know obviously the cost of university's gone crazy, and it's, you know, might not be affordable for everyone, but, you know, you've got college courses, you've got night school, you know, you've also got, you know, government help. If you're on a very low income, you can get, you know, like grants. And I just think, you know, we're in an age now where, you know, we get programmed to believe that, you know, things are against us, but we've actually got a lot of opportunities that we just don't realise are around us every day. And, you know, I know what it's like to be at rock bottom. I know what it's like to be broken. I know what it's like, you know, to not have many friends. And, you know, it always feels like everyone's moved on except you, and you're stuck in this place. But believe me, you know, every moment is another chance to, you know, turn your life around. And you know, if I'd listened to other people, I'd still be in that horrible job that I hated, because, you know, people told me that I couldn't do any better, and I'd only ever earn like £7-8 an hour. That was, you know, like my limit in life. But, you know, I proved everyone wrong. You know, I got a good job, and it is possible. Anything, you know, is possible. And you have to remember, you know, everything in your life is temporary, you know, good or bad. When things are going great, you know, enjoy them, and, you know, just make the most of them. But you have to remember, when things aren't going well, it's not going to last forever. You know, it's a rut, but you will get out of it, and, you know, it will pass. You'll eventually, you know, you're going to move on to something better. So if you do feel lost in life, or you do feel like you're behind and you're not doing as well, do what I did, you know, just really take stock of things. Look at ways you can improve your life, you know, ask for help. You know, you can go to colleges, libraries, your local council, you know, find out what, you know, help is available to you. And there are people there that will help you and, you know, help you make a good decision. So yeah, just remember, you're not alone. You know, I think everyone at some point in their life feels like this. And, you know, you just have to remember that we all get stuck sometimes. You know, sometimes we all get to a part in our life that, you know, we're not enjoying, or it's not how we thought it was going to be. But, you know, you've always got opportunities to turn things around. And, you know, that's what you really have to remember. And remember, okay, it's January, but soon it'll be spring. You know, this cold weather will not last forever. Just take each day at a time, and, you know, we'll get through this.